So we've got the Sabo Deadlift Pros, the newest version of their deadlift shoes. And actually, before we get into the shoe too much, I want to show you my old ones so you can kind of see the difference. The old shoes gained popularity because they were so thin. I think at the thinnest point they're like 2 millimeters in the sole. I know it doesn't look like that because the rubber comes up a little bit higher, but it is really super thin. Along with that, you get the added benefit of having, you know, a full shoe, like a mid-height shoe, where you have the lateral stability. So if your foot is planted, you're not going to feel your foot kind of rolling out of the shoe. Comparison we could make is to something like this, the Notorious Lift Deadlift Slipper. Great company, by the way, kind of fit, kind of fat as well. All great people. But you might ask yourself, like, why would I want this? Or why would I want something like this instead of this? This is only like 30 bucks, right? Why wouldn't you just want 5 pairs of these? You could totally do that. I know a lot of people who do. But the advantages of something like this is that they are very thin, very comfortable, almost like kind of barefoot feel. They do come in a bunch of colorways, so if you want to have matching stuff, that's all awesome too. But maybe the one downside to a shoe like this is that you don't have the same sort of lateral stability. So if your foot is in this shoe and the foot is, or your shoe's kind of locked in, by the way, these are super grippy. Like once you are planted, your foot's not, or your shoe's not going anywhere, I should say, but your foot inside that shoe. As you start torquing your foot outward this way, a lot of people say that they feel as if their toes or their foot is kind of almost spilling over the edge of the shoe. And that's just kind of the nature of something like this. It's not made as much to handle that as it would be for this. These are certainly much more comfortable. I would say definitely much more grippy, and they look cooler. But something like this, if you really are trying to create that torque off the floor this way, this might be a better fit for you, albeit, you know, triple the price. Anyway, coming back to the original OG deadlift shoe, these are the ones actually that I had a lot of my best lifting sessions in. I've broken California state total record in these shoes as well, so they have a special place in my heart. But anyway, these became popular because they're super thin, they have that lateral stability, they look okay, I guess, and you know, at the time, at least, they were what I would consider to be the best sumo deadlifting shoe out there. A couple of issues with this construction, or with this shoe though, were, I mean, just that, the construction, the quality. You can kind of see here where that buckle attaches, that vinyl just tore through. And I didn't even use this for that long, like less than a year. I've replaced these twice. This other side, you can see the Velcro kind of just tore away there. I've torn holes, or I've torn the lace holes as well, like where the lace itself kind of comes through across that vinyl material, just makes a wider hole. You can see they have eyelets at the top ones here, which I really appreciate. Those are going to be much more durable, of course. The overall construction of the shoe just feels, I hate to say it, a little bit cheap for, you know, $100+ These did cost, I think, $120 when they first came out, and they were priced down to like $90 at certain times. But yeah, the main selling point for these was just that they were super thin, give you that lateral stability. And if we look at the new ones solve a lot of the problems that I have with the old ones. So we have much better construction overall. I think they look cooler. I mean, that's definitely personal preference, but even like the mesh material here, where you need it to be breathable, or where it can afford to be breathable, it is. The vinyl that they're using in the other section of the shoe feels higher quality, feels like it might be more durable, but can't really tell until I use this for a while. The big difference in construction for me is this metatarsal strap. You can already see it's much wider. This is made out of nylon, which is kind of the same material you'd find in your seatbelt. So it's super durable. This is not going to tear. It's not going to come unstitched, at least as far as I can tell. And you can see they actually took that nylon all the way through underneath to the sole here. On this side, that buckle also similarly attached by nylon, so you don't have to worry about this ripping out either. The fact that this is so much more stout and that it is so much wider allows you to, when you have that strap down, you can really lock your foot in a lot better than you could with the other shoe. It almost feels like your foot is being smashed downward into the sole. You have the same thinness that you normally would expect from these shoes. The sole is a little bit different, so you can kind of see, I'm going to exaggerate this, but you can kind of see that the rubber of the sole, it actually flares out toward the bottom on both sides, inside and out, kind of like this. But that flare gives you some extra surface area on the bottom, so like when your shoe contacts the platform, you have extra room or extra surface area to get grip. I do wish that the sole was a little bit more grippy. This is a little bit kind of a harder rubber than these ones. These ones are almost, I'd almost say these are like tacky. Like once they're there, they're not going anywhere. But yeah, these ones Could possibly be a little bit more slippery, but they have that extra surface area going for them, so that's great. One other really cool thing they did here was, if you look at the sole, you would kind of think that your heel's up here, but actually they carved that out. So it's very much rounded. They say it's like a spherical shape almost for your heel in the cup there. So your heel still comes down pretty low to the floor. It's just carved out like this. And the shape makes it so that even if your foot had room to slide around in there, it's going to find itself dead center in the bottom of that cup every single time. Whereas the old shoes, and most shoes are going to be, even if they're pretty low, they're going to be flat across, so your heel has some room to move around in there. Up at the top, you have this ankle strap again, which I know a lot of people don't actually like the feeling of being locked in at the ankle, so it's nice that they have the elastic here. You won't be able to make this super tight. For me, I don't actually like that as much. I prefer this were a solid strap with no elastic, but I know most people prefer that to have the stretch, so that's cool. One thing I wish they would have changed is, you can see they have eyelets, the metal eyelets for the top 3 holes here. I wish they would have just taken that all the way through every lace hole, and then that way you don't have to worry about eventually tearing through these, if that were even a concern. I only say that because I've broken a shoe like that before, so for what it's worth, I can't say in any fairness that this is going to happen again, but I would just be more comfortable seeing a metal eyelet here, and I don't know why you wouldn't do it for all of them if you're going to do the top 3. One other change is the tongue of the shoe is quite a bit wider. You see how wide that is. That's not going to affect the performance of the shoe at all, but it does help in that a narrower tongue will have that tendency to kind of roll to either side of your foot, and again, not going to affect performance, but it is a little bit uncomfortable if your tongue ends up over here. So it's cool to see that wider tongue, makes it a little more comfortable. Definitely a good idea. Not sure how well this shows on camera, but you can kind of see that the toe box is also reshaped, more like the shape of a foot. I can't get my foot up on the desk, but you can kind of imagine how your big toe would be here and these toes kind of slant off, but in total that toe box is a little bit wider to allow you to kind of splay your toes a little bit more. So if you have proper foot position in your shoe, it's not going to be hindered by your shoe kind of squishing you in this way. And then again, the heel cup thing helps. You have a little bit of that going on the front of the foot as well, where you have this border all the way around. The rubber raises up past your foot, and around the front you've got that leather material, or that fake leather material, to hold your foot from spilling over the edges.
So overall, if you are in the market for a new deadlift shoe, even if you've owned the previous Sabo Deadlift shoes or the Deadlift ones, even if you have those, or if you're just in the market for a new shoe entirely, I don't think you can go wrong with the pros. There are significant enough change from the previous versions that even if you have those already and you're considering getting some new ones, I would highly recommend it. Especially if you pull Sumo, I can't imagine finding a better shoe than this. If I do, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Or if you have any recommendations, you let me know. I'll check it out. But yeah, if you're willing to spend, around $100, maybe 90 if they're on sale, go for it. Otherwise, if you can't afford to spend 90 bucks, can't go wrong with Notorious Deadlift slippers. That's all I've got for this video, guys. See you guys next time. Peace.